What's going on, family? Thank you for tuning in to today's live. You're locked in with the Coach Smook Network, and I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality. Before we get rolling, do me a quick favor. Tap that like button, share the stream out, and if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss any of the action. Now listen, if you really rock with what we're building here, I invite you to take the opportunity to support the channel by becoming a member of the AAA family. Our mantra is authenticity above all. Everything we do, our content and our community, is built on creating and enjoying quality, authentic conversations, real insight, and real information surrounding sports entertainment. Your membership directly assists in the growth of the Coach Smook Network, and every hard-earned dollar you contribute is not only appreciated, it's paid forward. We proudly make monthly contributions to various community health and awareness organizations because impact matters. If you want to get even more involved with the community, be sure to join our Discord. You can type the command right now in the live chat or head over to our main YouTube page and click the Linktree link in the description. And for those who want to support the network directly, you can donate through multiple options: Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Every bit of support helps us continue to grow and elevate this platform. Thank you all for the love and the support and the energy you bring every single time. Now buckle up because it's time to get into the show. Somebody type it in the chat. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's get it.
Talking Bama in the microphone. Look me up on YouTube. True cut, straight from the stone. Ain't no selling their retails. I'm exposing what they want. Alabama football, yeah, I live it, yeah, I breathe it. From the streets to the bleachers, every angle, yeah, I see it. Film study, so militant. I ain't guessing a thing. Break it down, every snap is like a coach in the team. Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you'll fail with the fan. They tried to box me in, and I keep it though off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, that's what they saying.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. Them boys over there. Look at Deontay live.
Hey, y'all, I'm walking out of Walmart. Check, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast.
What's up, bro?
Reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Roll Tide, man.
Yes, sir. Welcome in this morning to the Coach Smook Network. I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media talent, man. Y'all welcome in. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. Appreciate y'all for being here today. Turn it up this morning. It's Monday morning. I know we don't have practice today, but we do have a lot to talk about with last week's practices ending. Both Bama basketball teams not able to make it out of the week into the April time of March Madness, into that Elite Eight Final Four conversation. Man, journey's ended. Departure of Coach Christy Curry, former Alabama women's basketball head coach, is now at USF. Going to see a real face change on that women's basketball squad. I guarantee you that the roster are going to be talking about a lot of new faces on that squad coming up after this basketball portal period. So got a lot to talk about today, but main topics of conversation today, man. We're not going to really continue to dive into the post-scrimmage conversation. I think we had 2 good live streams where we kind of talked about it. We're going to highlight some of the things from the scrimmage, right? And just give you some names to look forward to, some people to watch for, some coaches that you're going to be hearing about a lot about when you talk about the impact on this roster and how things are developing. Also, we're going to have a phone conversation, phone segment today. It's going to be live today, man. I'm telling you, y'all know we have viewers that really support. They really support past the show, and we have conversations past the show. And there's been a lot of questions across social media, not just on my phone line, but across social media about the culture at Alabama. You have former players questioning it. You got former coaches or coaches who had some dealings during the Saban era. They're kind of picking and taking little slight shots at the way that Kalen DeBoer and his staff are carrying on the Alabama legacy and trying to reset the new Alabama standard. And we're going to have a conversation about it. I got my own little take about it. I got my own little feels about it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in great detail today. Hopefully we can get everybody in here today. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Let's do a quick roll call before we get into the show, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for doing what y'all do here on the Coach Smook Network. I'm telling y'all, man, we really been growing. I don't know what's going with YouTube and the back office, but there's something going on. I don't know. Maybe it's something happening with everybody's page, but yeah, let's hope we're not running into no issues here with YouTube at this time and juncture of the year. YouTube is, let me see, I got to check it out. Okay. Well, we're good. What's up? Let me see, hold on. I don't know what that means, Mary J, but all right, chat. So let's get into a roll call. We got Dominic in the chat. Appreciate you for pulling up, Dominic. Amanda, you can handle them sound effects for me. Antonio, what's good? Ken, the Bama fan, I see you. What's good, man? Antonio, my brother, good to see you. Roll Tide. Let's go, Ken. I see you, my boy. Roll Tide in the chat. The Kinesis, I see you. And TikTok, I see y'all pulling up too. Let's acknowledge TikTok. I see y'all tapping the screen, family over there. Continue to tap the screen, man. Leah, what is that? Is that I can't see that name. It's not letting me see the name, and I can't click on the profile because it's gonna mess it up. But I appreciate everybody for tapping in early in on the show. Listen, today's topic of conversations, man. I hope we spark something because I'm kind of tired of, hey, what's up, Antonio, getting his YouTube membership renewed. Appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. My Bama boy GA, what's good, family? I ain't seen that name in here in a minute. What's good, family? Good to see you, man. Make sure you take the opportunity to get one of these wristbands to become a member of the AAA family, man. The Smook Scoop has been pretty hot the last 2 streams, man. The membership vibes. I think our members have been very well pleased in the information that they've been receiving over here. And a lot of them, they support other content platforms that cover Bama. And when they go to those other platforms and they hear information that confirms everything that I've been saying all day. What's up, Antonio? Appreciate you for tapping in on TikTok. Mike Jones, what's good? When they start confirming the information that we put out early in the day, I know that makes you all feel good. So that's what we wanted to try to stay on top of and continue to help grow. Christian Ballard checking in on Facebook, man. Appreciate you for tapping in, Christian. Christian Ballard Sports, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out. We got a lot of collabs coming up for this season. We got some summer tour though that we're working on, guys, across the state of Alabama. Getting into our recruiting and scouting exposure. And then we're also going to be in Texas. Got Cincinnati, Ohio coming up. We got a lot of spots, a lot of stops coming up. And I can't do it by myself. So the only way we're going to continue to grow and continue to establish this network as a legit, vetted recruiting, scouting, coverage source for all athletics when it comes to the collegiate stance of things, not just Alabama. I keep telling y'all think I'm just saying this, but it's so many universities, so many schools, because of the connections and networking that we've done, the relationships that we built. Guys have entered the portal, and now we have insight on a lot of different schools. I really want to get up to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech seems like it's a lot going on up there. It's a lot of anticipation for what they have next season with some of the portal additions that they got. So I'm going to be glad to just expand. But for my Bama family, I know I'm going to keep y'all in tune and keep y'all inside, keep y'all in the game here on the Coach Smook Network. So As we get ready to jump into it, man, make sure y'all just sit back, relax, run up the comments. If you're listening in while you're at work, take a quick second and share it. I know you may not be able to comment all day, but if you're listening, tap that double tap that screen first and then share this stream with somebody and let them know that you're in the game with Coach Smook. And when they tap in, they could jump in and they could say it with y'all. Y'all know what to say.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Let's get into it, baby.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
All right, y'all, let's get into the conversation today, man. We had a lot of feedback from the scrimmage on Friday. No, on Thursday. My bad. On Thursday. But I think we had more. No, Friday. I'm sorry. Friday. I'm tripping. I think we had more insight Saturday. Saturday during the day when we got to talk with some of the players. We got to talk with some of the staff members that were there. We got to talk with, other special guests that are always at the practices and things of that nature. So it was fun to hear some of the things about, the receivers. My greatest excitement and joy came from the play of the receivers in this first scrimmage. A lot of explosive plays, right? A lot of contested explosives. That was the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway. It wasn't that the receivers were just dogging the DBs. It wasn't that the offense was just overpowering the defense. The explosive plays that were being made were contested. So you see the mentality of the wide receiver room seems to be taking shape already. The Derek Nix on staff, I tell you what, we can talk trash about Auburn. We could pick at little brother all day, but their wide receivers weren't sassy by any means. They were very much doggish, and I could understand why Coleman would want to leave after Derek Nix leaves. What's up, Corey? Good to see you, man. I could understand why he would want to hit the portal after a coach like Derek Nix, somebody who's very well vetted in the Southeast, in the SEC, as a recruiter, but also as a wide receiver developer. There's a lot of people, coaches or trainers right now, developers that have, cross paths with him or kind of use things that he has done to develop the skills position as a whole, right? So having Derek Nix on his staff, to couple him with Kalen DeBoer's experience, Ryan Grubb's style of play calling, the way that he develops receivers, you got to expect or you got to demand increase in production with the wide receiver room this year. So to come out of the first spring and to hear those things being said about the wide receivers, especially one being the Ryan Coleman Williams, finally breaking out, looking to seem to be back on that superstar wide receiver one type of trend. Now, I tell you, from what I saw the first week when I was in Tuscaloosa, I said is I would love to see this level of focus that he's displaying continue to grow. Even in Pro Day, the 2 drops that he had for Ty Simpson, you can tell that he has an intentional focus on working on the small things. And that's what he's going to need, man. He's going to demand the attention again. And I think because of that, some other guys are going to get the exposure in the room early on in the season. But I guarantee you, week 4, 5, 6, once conference play starts, that's when we're going to start seeing Ryan Williams and his emergence of how impactful he could be for this offensive scheme. What's up? So ready for college football, man? I'm ready too, brother. I'm ready too. So once we get into the conversation, man, and we start breaking down how things went or how things are developing, I want to highlight some of the big things that happened at this first scrimmage. One, what's up, Zach? Good to see you in the chat. One thing I want to highlight, man, is that Alabama's offensive line, this is going to be a good competition. One, because I think Nick Brooks is probably, when you're talking about getting off the bus and looking like you're ready and having the biggest offensive lineman or the most athletic offensive lineman. The thing is, he's one of your biggest and he's one of the most athletic. He is the biggest, if I'm not mistaken, 6'7", 330. You look at this offensive line, everybody on this offensive line, I think somebody had made a post about it earlier, but I said something about it. I said they're getting more to the size of the offensive line that you saw Kalen DeBoer utilize at Washington. And I think that was a more undersized line, but this offensive line, if he can get a similar build or a similar anatomical makeup of what that offensive line looked like and get those guys moving in the SEC, the way that we were able to get some pop last year and get some push in early downs last year, if we can get this offensive line and this run blocking scheme able to get lateral just as quick as we, or get north to south just as quick as we try to get lateral, I think we'll start to see the effectiveness of the run game. Speaking of the run game, man, the running backs, I tell you what, if we have an explosive offense, it's not just going to be because of the effect or the impact of the quarterback. It'll be because of the extensive skill sets in the running back room. And when I say extensive skill sets, I'm talking about we have a power run game. I think 2 out of the 5 running backs that we will see this season provide that pure power run game in both Daniel Hill, that north and south pure power run game. And surprisingly, in that same boat, I like what we're getting from Khalifa, the transfer. I like what the intensity that he runs with. Now, granted, he's doing against second and third teamers right now, but I think he will bring that same pop. He's an experienced back, doesn't come with a huge resume, doesn't come with a lot of eye-popping stats, but the intense running, the aggressive physical nature of running that we have been desiring in the running back room or been wanting to see, I think he's going to provide that. If you see a stumble anywhere with anything in front of him, I think that aspect of his game will be able to step forward. But Daniel Hill, A.K. Deere, those two guys are really the 1-2 punch that I think we've been looking for. It's up to Ryan Grubb to utilize them, though. We're going to have a conversation about play calling and all this stuff later on in the offseason, but we really got to utilize the run game. These running backs, not only are they going to be able to finally impact the run game, but I think more so it's going to be hard to stay away from putting the ball in the air because of how great the hands are in the running back room. I talked about this last year. We saw Daniel Hill, Jam Miller, even Richard Young with his limited time. We saw these guys make big plays out the backfield. Kevin Riley make big plays out the backfield in the passing game. So I expect the same thing to continue to grow. Got to find a good balance in it, because I guarantee you, what's up, Roll Tide Productions? Appreciate you tapping in on TikTok over there, and appreciate you. I seen y'all live the other day. I started to tap in, but I was on the booth. But I truly think we're in the position to see Alabama's offense finally evolve, and I'm talking about within the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season, depending on the quarterback play. Speaking of quarterback play, there was a lot of people wanting to jump in my inbox and were texting me like, man, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. I told y'all, if you watch the members only, go watch it. I'm not here to debate what I put out, all right? But I will say this. Both quarterbacks operate at such a quality level. Let me see, I got a message, I think. Both quarterbacks have been operating at such a quality level thus far in camp that the separation comes because of the plays, the ability to be a playmaker. This is not one of those things that when I said there'd be a separation or there'd be a quality competition. I think the quarterback in this quarterback race this season can't just do the basic stuff at a high rate. They got to be able to make plays. That's what this offense is going to need. I think Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, they went out and made the offensive switches and hires that they did because of those it factor moments that you need. And you look at the staff members that they brought on. Richard Owens produces it factor type tight ends, especially in the passing game. We talked about his extensive coaching career or as far as his history and the type of tight ends that he's produced. We went over that in his hiring video. Y'all make sure y'all go check that live out. But you also got to look at what happened with Coach Klim on the offensive line. The small things that you're seeing be applied. This offensive line is starting to look a lot more fluid. Guys are picking up. You're seeing more competition because guys are confident, but it's affecting everything around the quarterback because of the type of staff. So this is not a situation where the quarterback can take his time and kind of gradually build. No, he has to be making strides every day. And I think that's where Keelan Russell has caught the attention of the staff, because since he's shown up on campus as a true freshman last year, stride, every practice, every week, every scrimmage, right? To the point where you're still having him operate some level of the game plan in game prep week while Ty Simpson was here, right? Literally was a part of the game plan going into the playoff run. So Keelan Russell may not get all the film time, the early, and shout out to QB country, man, my brother Larry, man, give it up for him, getting that footage of all the Ryan Williams touchdown catches during the team's period. But that was some quality stuff to see, you know, the timing aspect of both quarterbacks really being a hot point right now. Now you talk about explosives, I think that's where we're going to really see the focal point. Which quarterback can create the most explosives over this evaluation period, the next few weeks? That's what's going to be. Now let's talk about defense before we just kind of break this thing down a little bit more and get into some specific players. Defensively, I think when you have a day where your ones truly show up and they handle business like the ones, your bend but don't break mentality is more close to the identity that you left last season. I'm not going to say the playoffs, but when you came into ending last season, I want to say up until probably the second drive against Georgia was the last time we saw that Kane Womack mid-season defense, because we were dealing a lot of injuries going into the SEC championship. It's in 7 or 8 players, primary players on the defensive side, had a lot of young guys thrown into that game, lack of experience, things happening. But offensively, we struggled to that game with a lot of injuries. So the SEC championship game, not a fair measuring stick. You saw how we played against Oklahoma. Defense showed up big. Offense came along late to finally get a defense of support. So Kane Womack's style of defense is something that the Bama faithful, right, the ones that were doubting, they're starting to buy into it. They look at the amount of turnovers, the turnover increase, the tackling rate is getting better, right? Our sack numbers everything has climbed under Kane Womack. You look at how this defense is flying around, and I think I get a sense more so of, like, instead of, I truly believe that these guys understand, right, how they need to operate in order for things to truly develop as a whole. I look at how QB reads Abdul Sanders Jr., Caleb Woodson, who's a transfer from Virginia Tech, Evan Tompkins, Edric Hill, Asaya Fega out there. I mean, guys, names just popping off the screen. Jaira Edwards is going to be a name. And if y'all see a lot of clips with him working in pass rush sets or looking like he's working with linebackers, remember this. And I want to kind of put this out there. So for everybody that's trying to wonder where some of these guys will play, I think, honestly, I truly believe Jaira Edwards is going to be in that rotation where you see Red Morgan at that nickel corner spot, that box safety, Husky. They technically call it the Husky. I think Red Morgan, Jaira Edwards, Bray Hubbard, that's going to be a solid rotation. Dre Kirkpatrick, right? Those guys are going, that's going to be, you're talking about four assets that have, you know, linebacker-like assets or skill sets, size, you know, you get into 215, 220, you could be a dime linebacker. I like how Clint Lamb said that a long time ago. A lot of people don't understand what he was trying to say. A dime linebacker is your hybrid linebacker, right? These guys can cover, and that you put them in space, they do well. You can send them on second level blitzes. They know how to get in space. They're very athletic, and they're a little bit too big to be a true safety, right? Or a corner. So you got to put them on the field. You utilize it. It's like Micah Parsons. He's not a huge edge rusher asset, but what is he known for? Right, edge rushing. He's a smaller, undersized linebacker. He can get out and cover. He's fast, but he's an edge pass rushing specialist. Shout out to my guy Calvin, man. He said, "Morning, let the beautiful Crimson Tide wave over you." Hey, appreciate you, man. Roll Tide, Calvin. Welcome in. So you look at the defensive side, just names just popping off the screen. Luke Metz, you know, just consistent in that room. Somebody that I look to see grow this year. I think him and Caden Jones will get opportunities to shine on special teams. And everybody's asking about, what's good, big homie? Good to see you. Everybody's asking about what's going on with Caden Jones as far as, I just think it's a situation where This young man got recruited by one staff. He didn't have a huge recruiting campaign coming in, and I think he's just committed to fulfilling his commitment at the end of the day. And he's still developing. You look at him, you look at his size, you look at his frame, you're wondering where he could best fit. I've seen linebackers like Caden Jones, and one of my favorites of the Saban era, Keith Holcomb. I don't know if y'all remember Keith Holcomb, but he didn't really get a lot of snaps on the field in the defensive scheme, but special teams, he made his name on special teams. And then went off to the NFL and had a solid career. You know, got on a few rosters. Shout out to Big Homie for the $4.99 super chat. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Amanda. I don't know. See with the applause with that one, you can let that one play all the way out. It's a short one. Yeah, you can let that one play all the way out. You ain't got to stop that. Yeah. It's only like 6 seconds. So that one, you can let that one play all the way out. That way you don't end it and then it pick back up at the end. We still training, y'all. We getting ready for the season. It's our off-season training too. So y'all, I get to enjoy all that. Our producers really be cooking though, for real. Y'all playing. Shout out to Big Homie for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. We thank you for your support for the Coach Smook Network. Put that back on the screen for me real quick, if you don't mind. I don't remember if he had a comment on there or not. The super chat. Where you go? Who got it? Okay, he ain't had no comment. All right, appreciate you, Big Homie, for the $4.99 super chat, brother. All right, so also on the defensive side, we're still in the secondary. I just talked about Jairo Edwards. I want to talk about the corners first before we get into the phone lines and start talking about the culture and all that. We really want to open the phone lines at the 35 minute mark of the show so we can get as many calls in, as many comments and conversations in as we can today. Because the days where we don't have practice, these are the days that we can have these conversations. All right. But I want to talk about the cornerback rotation. There's a few guys in the defensive back room that play boundary corner, and I think would be, just crazy good assets. We're talking about the more senior assets in this system under Kane Womack. Xavier Brown, you got Dijon Lee is a veteran in this system. Red Morgan, who's been playing some boundary, right? We've seen him throwing out there the boundary some, but I think he's more of a mainstay at that nickel corner spot. So you got Xavier Brown and Dijon Lee, but there's a name that y'all going to continue to hear about. One, he doesn't look like he should be a corner. He looks like he should be a receiver, but when you see him in phase, when you see him on the defensive side, when you see how he tracks the ball, how he comes up and plays run support, the physicality aspect is something that you worry about when you look at some of your taller receivers, taller corners, taller defensive players. Hey, Deborah, appreciate you for becoming a member on the channel again. Appreciate you. Roll Tide. Appreciate you. AAA family. I'll make sure y'all give it up for all our new members that's renewing their membership. Y'all just don't know how great of an opportunity y'all creating. Every time we're live and we see members join, that motivates other people to support. And I don't beg y'all to become members. I present the opportunity, but y'all know when y'all become members, man, I try my best to get y'all as much information, as much insight, as much creative, informative content as possible. So back in that defensive back room, the cornerback room, Carmelo O'Neal is a name to really, really pay attention to, y'all. I think this year, because you got guys like Carmelo O'Neal, and then you got guys that's rising fast like Chuck McDonald. I keep saying his name for a reason, but I think you're going to have an opportunity to really put yourself in some situations where if you're dealing with some really speedy receivers that you got to put hands on, right? Some shorter guys, 5'11", 5'10", shifty type guys. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Dijon and Carmelo in those situations. And it's not because they can't cover them, because now you give the opposing offense, something else to worry about in their play calling. But when you got a defensive back room where your average height is 6'2", 6'3" right now, the average height in the cornerback room is 6'2", I believe. The shortest one that you right now is 6'1", and I believe Jordan Evans is 6'2". Jordan Evans, Zion Gibson is 6'1", 6'2", and then you got 6'3", ZB, you got 6'4", Carmelo O'Neal, you got 6'5", Dijon Lee, you got 6'2", 6'3", Chuck McDonald, you got Jordan Edmonds. And then Nick Sherman, you don't know if they're going to play him at safety or going to put him at the boundary, the transfer. I'm telling you, this cornerback room is freaking loaded. I'm glad I don't have Coach Mo's job this year, just like last season. I feel like there was maybe one guy, and y'all know who it is. I won't speak his name up again, but it was maybe one guy that probably didn't do or present the skill sets that I felt like were as good as everything else in that room. And it's so bad. We already seen that product on the field the year before in Day. And I'm not dogging. I'm just saying, too many times you've been beat. Red Morgan, as a true freshman, had mistakes. You didn't see the same thing happen to Red. There was maybe 2 plays this season I remember Red just getting kind of out-routed. And that's going against like a 5th, 6th year guy in all those moments. So I think we're on the right side of the progression when it comes to the cornerback room. And I think right now you can kind of shuffle about 4 of those guys up in Carmelo, Chuck, Dijon, and Xavier. I think you could shuffle those guys up and just kind of pick 2 at any snap, and we're going to be in a good position. Linebackers, man, I don't have much to say about the edge rushing room. Yonze, Justin Hill, Atua Henry's been working in there. The transfer, Caleb Smith, I believe his name is, from Washington, a Bama kid, he's been working in that room. Ja Latham is there. You see the frame and the size of that wolf position starting to change a little bit, starting to develop. And they're getting closer to that bandit frame, that bandit size frame. I don't know if that's like an adjustment that Kane Womack is making, but I don't know if y'all remember myself and Coach Sean. Shout out to those guys over there. We did a live a long time ago, and that was when we talked about when they first brought over Kane Womack, and we were kind of breaking down the defensive scheme and the type of player you need at the position. And the guys that we were fielding at that spot, I don't know if y'all remember, Quay had to put on weight from the first year to the second year. Yanzi, he was kind of bigger. Noah put on weight. All these guys, Justin Hill came in at 230, 245. I think he's right at that 245, 250 range. You see that room becoming closer to that 250, 255 range to look more like a defensive end, but skill set wise, they're still getting thrown to drop back in coverage. And I think what you're seeing, because of the athleticism and the type of guys being asked to play that edge rush position nowadays, I think what you're seeing with Alabama's recruiting and how they're getting guys for that position, they're looking for guys that usually can stand up, right? That usually are used to playing stand-up linebacker, can get to the quarterback fast, provide coverage, but they're giving them a chance to play and go up against tackles, win matchup against tackles and tight ends and running backs, right? And a lot of times that's why you see those guys, their value going up, because sometimes those guys play, those edge rushers, they're usually, defensive end pass rush specialists that are 6'2 plus, 250 plus, 230 plus, 240 plus, and they move like a tight end or they move like a running back, right? Or they're smaller guys, you can't get your hands on them well, and they tackle, they play bigger than what they are. So Alabama has a good mixture of those skill sets sitting in that room, at Wolf Room, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see it develop. And then, of course, the inside linebacker room, we kind of talked about that. I think the highlight of this defense is going to be Terrence Green, Tompkins, Simmons, Beeman, Fega, Ola, Amari Johnson. The interior defensive line rotation is going to be the highlight of this team. I'm willing to bet it. The interior defensive line, how deep we can go with our D-line. Put in 3 true defensive linemen and then allowing guys like Yanzi the ability to float and stand up, because you got to double 2 out of the 3 guys, or you got to put 2 hats on that nose tackle. It's going to be crazy for this Alabama squad. Y'all, so just final takeaways from the scrimmage, everything being reported, some of the names that were being reported. Let's talk about the freshmen. This is how we're going to end this segment. The freshmen that I truly believe, because of the way that they were being thrown out there during the scrimmage, right? Not during teams, but during the scrimmage. I think we're going to see a lot of these freshmen impact and play a lot in the early rotation. They're going to get a lot of snaps in the early rotation. One being, I'm going to say this, and I got to start off with this one. True freshman, Jair Edwards. I've been talking about him before he got on campus. I'm telling you right now, it's a reason you go and get a guy that's 6'2". He comes in at 215. He weighs in for 210, right? And then he weighs in at first practice 222. Going into spring ball, He's being thrown into situations, and I told you all, because of where he played at in high school, those guys learn a next level style of defensive scheme. They don't get the basic coverages and go out there and get the freelance. They play an advanced style. They play an advanced scheme. They run a lot of pressures from the secondary. He's allowed to play a lot more aggressive. And because of those experiences and playing a national schedule, playing against top tier athletes that are that end up playing at the collegiate level, and he's been doing that since his 9th to 10th grade year. Right? I think his 10th grade year is when he started playing varsity. Right? And then quality, I wouldn't be surprised to see this young man and pray to God that it's one of them situations against Eastern Carolina where Trey Hubbard and Keon Sabb don't necessarily play past the second quarter, where you get a lot of those young guys an opportunity to just play some real meaningful ball. And then week 2, you come into it, you look at the matchups, and I'm gonna pull the schedule up in a minute, but you look at the matchups week 2 and week 3, you get some opportunities to really show up and let guys showcase. I tell you this, and argue with me if you want to, chat. I say this. I think since Kalen DeBoer has arrived, right? I think Alabama's young players, when we throw our young players out there, that's when we've had the best quality production. And that's no slight at any previous players, but I'm saying, once again, there's a certain mindset you have to have when you're in transition of taking over a program. And these freshmen right here, Jairo Edwards, they remind me of the Dijon Lees, the Xavier Browns, the Jalen Mbakwe, right? These Red Morgan, these are all freshmen, guys that were freshmen coming in, may not have been recruited, but they were freshmen. That first taste of college football and what they learned at this level is these systems. That's why you see him thriving. Edric Hill, his first real system where he had to play was in Kane Wommack's system, right? Ryan Williams, Kevin Riley. All of these guys have extensive experience in this system, and they're the ones providing the impact. We get to see Michael Carroll again in year 2. So now we talking about this year's freshman. I have to mention Jairo Edwards. Let me pull my other roster up. I had marked my names over here. I forget this. Sedarian Morgan, of course. If you any clips you see of Sedarian Morgan right now, it's him making contested catches. And then one of these clips, I believe, is him making a catch on Red Morgan, a starter. I know Red Morgan is going to be a starter in some capacity. He's a starter, and it's already been confirmed that he's getting some of the snaps with the first team. Let me find it. Here we go. It's not coming up. All right. So let me pull the schedule up. We got the schedule up now. And I'm just trying to kind of gauge what this could look like defensively for some of these young guys. We talk about Jairo Edwards, Sedarian Morgan. They're young guys that I feel like going to be able to be day one impact type of guys. Even Jordan Edmonds. I think Jordan Edmonds might find his way into some, like, really playing a lot this season. Him, offensive lineman. Don't let a guard struggle on the offensive line. What's the young man's name? Cooley? This freshman class right here, Kamari Johnson, right there on the D line. I think he has an opportunity to play this year. Nolan Wilson's not here, but if we're going to utilize a 9 to 11 man rotation, he might be number 9. He might be number 10. What's good, Greg? Good to see you in the chat, man. Roll Tide. But those are some freshman names y'all need to look out for. And like I keep telling y'all, it may not be on the defensive side of things, but Zay Hall, special teams, Zay Griffin, let those two get some opportunities on the defensive side or on special teams. A lot of excitement coming out of spring. Topic of conversation for the phone line today, and I'm gonna give my take on it. When we come back from the infomercial break. And I think this is one that I think is gonna crank up some energy in the chat for y'all. I know all of us loved the Coach Saban era, and we always talk about the Saban era, right? And I always get caught up in these conversations about, what needs to happen for Kalen DeBoer and why we haven't won a national championship in his first 2 years, and how he's letting the Alabama culture die and all this stuff. I want to open the phone lines for that. I don't understand it. I give my take, but I'm gonna open the phone lines, and I want to hear some serious thoughts. I want to hear some good thoughts. Is Kalen DeBoer and this staff, are they losing or diminishing the legacy of what Alabama has been established, or what Coach Saban and Bear Bryant and the coaches of Gene Starling and all the history? Is Kalen DeBoer somehow or another falling off? Is he dropping the ball? Is the culture at Alabama, the amount of pressure that we're under, is Kalen DeBoer losing the championship identity that we have become accustomed to? That's the topic of conversation on the phone line here on the Coach Smook Network. Y'all, we got to pay some bills real quick, all right? We got to pay some bills. So when we come back from these infomercial breaks, we'll get into that topic of conversation. I'll give my take, and then we'll open the phone lines and let you all share your thoughts here on the Coach Smook Network. But until then, think about becoming a member of the AAA family and giving us some support here. And we also want to shout out to all of our sponsors here on the Coach Smook Network. Check it out. Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel. Hold on one second. If you're serious about sports, you need more than just box scores. You need real insight. That's why Sports Info Solutions is the official partner of the Coach Smook Network. Sports Info Solutions is my go-to source for in-depth stat analysis, giving you the tools to truly understand player production, tendencies, and performance on a whole new level. From NFL, MLB to NBA, Sports Info Solutions delivers advanced data that helps fans, coaches, and analysts see the game behind the game. This isn't just stats, it's context. Looking ahead to the next generation of stars? Check out nfldraft.sportsinfosolutions.com for elite draft analysis and detailed prospect breakdown. Make it your new go-to stat tracker. Visit sportsinfosolutions.com today. Now let's get back in the game.
Better go subscribe. YouTube, roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll tide, roll tide. Better go subscribe. TikTok.
Let's go here on the Coach Smook Network. Appreciate y'all for tapping in today. What we got? Okay, here we go. All right, topic of conversation for the phone line. We're going to open the phone line here in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to explain what we're talking about and why we're talking about it. The Alabama football culture has been under a lot of fire over the past 2 years. One, I think it's fair. It's fair. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. There shouldn't be some type of expectation put on whoever was to step in and take over for Coach Saban, the greatest college football coach. I ain't gonna say greatest college football coach of all time. He ain't doing it on every level. I don't know nothing about his high school coaching career. I don't even think he coached high school. Right? I don't know nothing about his NFL career. We know how that went. The greatest college football coach of all time, and majority of that greatness was established and proclaimed during his tenure at Alabama. Won the national championship at LSU, goes to the NFL, comes back to Alabama. Greatest span of his career, 17 years, 6 national championships. How many appearances? 11 national championship appearances. You can't ask for a better career, right? What's up, Melvin? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Roll Tide. Give it up for Melvin. Tapping in on the YouTube side. We got the phone lines open up here in 4 minutes. Here we go. 4 minutes. I'll give you my 4-minute offense or my 4-minute explanation of why I don't think Alabama's culture is under fire. I don't think that Alabama's culture is in trouble. Now, if you would have asked me this, 4 years ago, just towards the end of Coach Saban's tenure, I would have said yes. I think there was a lot of clash of mindsets, a lot of clash of ideologies of how things and culture or the way of this new age of society is. You had just two different mindsets. Coach Saban's mindset was on this track as a coach, and just in life in general, the technology area. It took Coach Saban to retire to create an official Twitter. You know how long Twitter been around? You know how long coaches been using Twitter to recruit? To engage in recruiting? Coach Saban was not one of them, right? I don't think Coach Saban had a Facebook or anything. You remember they had to make Coach Saban upgrade a phone. They had like a 2009 Samsung for the longest. I think they got it for when he got to Bama as part of his hiring package. They got him one of the newer phones, but they had to get him, so it's one of those things. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy MJ. Roll Tide, man. So we look at it now, and we're checking out the landscape of college football and how things are being displayed or how people are operating, the successful organizations and programs, right? What's up, Bama Gump? Good to see you. The successful organizations. There was a call in. Y'all gonna hear him probably call in today. There was somebody called me talking about do you think music being played at practice is the reason why this team's so soft? Basically, that's what they were saying. I'm quoting. Cause that's what I believe they was. I ain't gonna tell them what they were saying. My assumption is that a lot of old school, old-minded fans, prehistoric fans that can't get with the times or don't understand that life can change, things have evolved. The very internet that you come to and complain on You weren't doing this 30 years ago when you were complaining in the barbershop. You're doing the same thing, but you are now finding a way to do it on the internet. That has changed the way you engage with people. COVID changed a lot of things. So when you were an athlete, when you were suiting up and you had your leather strap helmet and your 2-bar face mask and your thigh-high socks with the 2 stripes on it, and your knee pads were just as big as your thigh pads. When you were playing, you probably couldn't listen to music. You probably wouldn't be able to hear it through the helmet anyways. And then there wasn't enough assets or resources to even get music played on the field. So you don't know what could have happened if you would have been able to listen to some Prince or something right before walking on the field. You don't know what you could have did. You don't know what type of player you would have been if you would have been able to listen to, Cube or whatever in the early 90s as a collegiate athlete during practice. If they had loudspeakers, because when Miami started doing it, they was winning national championships, right? That Miami stretch, they was playing music at their practices in the locker room. So where's this idea that music at practice is a distraction all of a sudden? Is it because we got a new coach that wants to do it now? I saw a clip. I forget Coach Kelly. I forget where he coaches at. He don't play music at practice because Marines don't play music or SEALs don't play music before they go to work. When the hell football became... Come on, man. I get it. That's the level of focus you want your players to have. But I guarantee you, it doesn't. I guarantee you it affects recruiting. I guarantee you when guys come, as petty as you may think it is, this is what the players want. This is what they desire. And in order to stay ahead of the game, you have to have a standard, but it has to appeal to the skill set of the players that you want. You're not changing up for nobody, but you're making things available. And I think Kalen DeBoer and this staff have done a great job of balancing what's needed to get guys' attention and to really showcase that we're an organization that's going to develop. We're going to invest in you on the business side of things, but we're also going to develop. And there's a standard. But then at the same time, we understand that in order for you to be engaged, there's got to be some things available for you here. And music at practice is one of those things. I can't tell you how much fun I have at football practice when we have music on walkthrough day. See, we didn't do it every day, but every Thursday when we had walkthroughs, that's when we brought the music out. And you get a different level of focus and intensity from your players when the music is on. Yeah, you catch them bopping, rapping lyrics every now and then, but when it's time for them to get to their rep, they bouncing into their spot. I used to love seeing my receivers bouncing on the sideline, rapping their lyrics. Still got their eyes on the field, watching what's happening with the guy in front of them. If one mess up on the field or drop a pass, they paying attention. And don't let a song be playing, because then they rapping it to the person in front of them, taunting them, making them get in this area to focus. So it can definitely affect us positively. And we're not a culture. But one last thing before I say this. All the nuances and things, TikTok videos and podcasts, it's not like we 6 and 6 or 6 and 7 and doing these podcasts. It's not like we missing the playoffs or not playing in the SEC championship. What are we talking about? We're beating the ranked teams that we match up against. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? My boy said we had it on Tuesdays at Carver. Tuesday night fights was lit. Facts. It was certain days, I guarantee you right now. And it's crazy because I was listening into a conversation and I was talking with my bro this morning. He was on a visit with his son, and he said a fight broke out at the practice. And then I was listening to another conversation. A fight broke out at their scrimmage. And then you look at some of the highlights from like Well Off Media and Coach Prime. They had a little scrap. Like that's what you want to see. We had the same thing at Bama. We having scraps in practice. The very thing y'all saying, we need to restart. It's there. It just ain't doing it like y'all was doing it. So I don't think this coach is under fire. I think right now we're in the best spot possible. I think if Coach Saban was here, it would really be real. Last season would have been 8-4 under Coach Saban, guaranteed. 7-5. We were literally on the cusp of that the year before when he retired. We were literally on the cusp of that. Go look at 4 games in that season were decided by 1 possession. 4 games. 4 games. 4 of our wins were decided by one possession. And people are talking about Coach Saban and the standard. The standard has changed. That's the topic of conversation. Is Coach Kalen DeBoer and this staff and the culture at Alabama, is it under pressure? Let's get into that conversation here on the Coach Smook Network. Somebody type it in the chat right now. Somebody type it. And I need y'all to type it. I need at least 3 of y'all to comment and type it. Say it real loud. Somebody say put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's do it, baby.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Let's get it, y'all. Phone line is now open. 334-625-1121. Call in, say your name, and put me in the game. Coach Smook will get you on the line, get your thoughts in. Is the culture under fire? Is it struggling? Is it failing? Are we not doing championship things? Are we not doing the things that need to be done to win a national championship? You're talking about a coach that's already played in a national championship game already. We're gonna talk about it. Here we go. First call on the line.
Call from Zach Willie. To accept, press 4.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? You in the game with Coach Smook? Talk to me, man. Y'all give it up for Zach in the chat.
What's good, Coach Smook and my AAA family? How are y'all doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good, y'all. Hey, Zach, topic of conversation, man. Hot topic. Alabama culture under Kalen DeBoer and his new staff. What are we looking like, man? What does it feel? Is it suffering? You got people that believe that it's suffering right now. You got people that believe that this is the end of Alabama being a dominant culture or a dominant program because Kalen DeBoer is too soft. He's trying to be their friends instead of coaching them. He giving too much responsibility to the players and all this other stuff. What's your thoughts on this, Zach? Talk to me.
The culture is not suffering. Did we have to go through a transition period? Of course. When you lose the greatest head coach in college football, there's going to be a transition period.
Talk to him, Zach.
So if the buts about it, you know. But also, a lot of the players the last 2 years that played for Saban had this me mentality, selfish mentality, and didn't want to listen to this coaching staff because they thought they knew it all because they played for Saban, you know, and it gave them an entitlement that we didn't need it at the program. So, and I'll say this, I think this year is the year that it's a prove-it year for this staff, but we're right along the same path that Nick Saban happened. His first 3 seasons at Alabama, this third year was his prove-it year, and he won us a SEC championship and a national championship that year. Yes, it was a different format, of course, but still, you know, I believe we got a staff that can go out and win games and win us a national championship this year.
Zach, I got a question.
Yeah.
Zach. Is it fair to say that Kalen DeBoer has more obstacles to overcome on his path to keeping Alabama at the top of college football?
I would say yes, because of how the format is laid out now compared to when Saban was, first got started. but can he do it? Yes, he can do it. He took a Washington team that did not have any 4-star talent on its roster and took it to a national championship where they was one game away from winning a national championship. Was they outmatched against Michigan? Absolutely. But up until the fourth quarter, they was in that game. That fourth quarter is when Michigan really was it took till that fourth quarter for Michigan to put it on and run away with that game, because that Washington team was scrappy. They had great wide receivers, and we got great wide receivers here at Alabama. And it's going to, we have our quarterback now, his quarterback now.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 years we had to work with a Saban quarterback.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand this, but Milroe and Ty Simpson both weren't, from a mental standpoint, weren't built to run this offense.
I don't think so.
And
I don't think so. But for what Ty Simpson did last season, right?
mm-hmm.
He really set a tone for the potential of what this scheme can be. Right? I think we really saw, regardless, and y'all know how tough I've been on Ty Simpson's performance in this offensive scheme and all of that. But regardless of what transpired with Ty Simpson, you can see the mentality of play calling that we want to expose and be able to utilize, right? And Ty Simpson created a good foundational presence for what that can look like. Maybe not in his full operational aspects of everything, or not at his best, but he set a good, and I appreciate Ty. I told y'all he would be able to manage the season if he was thrown in as a starter. Would he be a game changer? I never thought that. But I do think he managed everything at a high rate. So if you even in that, to go from Coach Saban having a 10-win season the year before Kalen DeBoer got there, right? Was it 10 wins?
Yes.
10 wins, then you come in. Kalen DeBoer goes 9-4 the first year. Then you turn around the next year, you go 11-4. Like, what are we talking about? It's not like he's dropped off or anything. Everything is still around. You're talking about national remaining a national competitor, right? A national championship competitor. How do you do that? You stay within the top 10. He's done that in his first 2 years at Alabama. I think he's going to continue. And in order to do that, you have to have a solid culture. Final thoughts, Zach, so we can get this phone line open back up, man. I appreciate you for calling in. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts. You got 45 seconds.
My final thought is, okay, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kalen DeBoer and this staff can maintain a consistency throughout an entire season? Because we've seen him maintain it for stretches, but not an entire season. Do you, and this is for the chat as well, do y'all think this staff can maintain a entire season where they can get the players to stay motivated enough to compete in every single game week in and week out for an entire season?
100%. Hey, so let me answer that before you get off. I think,
all right,
if there was a time to see it, it would be in year 3, right? We saw it for like 4 games with Jalen Milroe. We saw it for like 7 games with Ty Simpson. I think you can see a solid 10 to 12 game stretch of a true identity with this team. I think so. So when I look at it and I ask that question to the chat, what is consistency? Like what is consistency? What does consistency look like for you as a fan? Is it just winning games, or is it the style of how we win it? Because to me, consistency is how you win. And last year, I think a consistent theme was this team found ways to win. And even in the losses, when we lost games, it was because everything that we tried, it was taken from us. Get what I'm saying? You couldn't leave stuff on the table for Kalen DeBoer. That's why I will say Kalen DeBoer and his staff, if you left it on the table, we was picking it up. We may not pick it up in the first, second, or third, or early in the third, but for some reason, we will pick it up, and it's been sitting there the whole time. So yeah, I think this team, this year, this staff, with this team, the third year, you have to set a level of consistency in how you win, and that to me, I think is attainable by this staff.
All right.
Yeah.
And my final thought, I want to say this. I think we have the offensive line coach to reestablish our dominance in the trenches on offense.
You do?
I do.
Well, now, see, I will say this. I think Clem comes in, the new, and is it Adrian Clem? Is it an I? Is it KLI or is it KE? KIE? I can't remember. Is it Clem, Chad? Klein?
KLE, like Clem.
Yeah. So, Coach K. We're gonna call him Coach K for until we get to finally meet him in person. I think he has all of the mentality that you want. But I think what he brings to the table right now is what we couldn't get Coach Cap to kind of translate, and that's the developmental aspect. Your mind and what you want to do to implement run blocking, zone run blocking scheme in this kind of spread format. It makes sense, but you're not getting it translated to the guys, nor is your vision for your makeup of how you're sizing these guys is it working out. So that's gonna be it, though, Zach. I appreciate you for calling in, and roll tide, my brother.
Roll tide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got another call on the line, y'all.
Call from
Shep.
Yo, Shep, what's up, man? You in the game with Coach Smook? Talk to me, man.
Coach, this is what I want to play for you for about 2 seconds.
All right, hold on.
And then I'm going to talk about the infamous Nick Saban.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Listen to this, Coach. Coach, I went back and I went to my old stomping ground archives because I used to listen to a lot of country.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled up Bon Jovi for you, Coach.
Bon Jovi?
Because I felt like, yes, sir, living on a prayer.
You feel like we living on a prayer?
70%.
That's what you feel like we living on a prayer.
70% of Tide Nation will tell you, and they know I ain't lying. If you got 400 callers on your call right now, Coach Smook, 400. If 400 callers on the call right now, 70% of them will tell you that we prayed harder than we prayed ever in our life when it came down to Alabama football in the last 2 years. We were living on a prayer. I'm not saying Coach DeBoer is a bad coach. He's a great coach. I'm behind Coach DeBoer. When he first got to Alabama, I said, man, the man had never lost. He's won everywhere he's been. I said, he's a winner. You know, I said, he's a winner. And when we talk about culture in Tuscaloosa, nothing wrong with playing the music. Man, we listen to music all on the bus. When we went down to Murphy, and Murphy beat us, and they still don't know how many yards I rushed for that night. Some said I had 260. Some said it was 280. But I know I put them cleats in their face. And we
what
lost.
You did to him, Shep? What you did to him?
Put them cleats in their face. Put them cleats in their face. I stayed in the secondary. I was 215 pounds solid muscle at 5'11". Let me tell you something. We got beat down in Murphy, Mobile to hurt us our heart. Roman Harper was hurt. He had a bad ankle. And we got on that bus and we still rapped to Mr. Big. We still rapped to Mr. I'm for the music, Coach. But what I'm saying is I want DeBoer to come in there almost grin his teeth in installing his culture, in installing that discipline into these young guys that are confused about college football and what it means, the camaraderie, and the pageantry behind it. Because obviously some of them don't understand when you're at an Auburn, or when you're at an Alabama, or when you're at a school that's known for its pageantry. And so I wanted to see a coach come in and establish that. Has he done it? I think he's done it more in year 3. I think we saw that when he sidelined Dre Kirkpatrick's son. Didn't let him play for the rest of the year. I think he sent a message to the team. He sent a message that, hey, if you don't do what's right, this is what's going to happen. If you violate team rules, I'm going to do this. I think he sent a message. I was just a little bit afraid. I was just a little bit and so
you don't see. I think Shep. I think what everybody and I joke about it, but I get it. I think everybody of the old school or the Saban era that's still like holding on to that, they're used to the whip being cracked, and it was, for a long time in football culture, right? The whip being cracked wasn't a bad thing. It was expected, right? Parents put their kids in football, especially the parents put their sons, especially single mothers. They put their sons in football to instill some level of discipline at some point in their life. Especially my single mothers. Shout out to all my single mothers that's out there trying to keep their young men off the streets and utilizing the game of football and other athletics to do such a thing, right? So, but with that being said, I think there's a new way of doing it. These kids have access to information. These young men have access to information on a level and at a rate that we never had it. Even at the millennial stage that I'm at, right? I didn't have access to information from age 13 and before, like a lot of these kids at age 13 have access to. So when you have access, there has to be approaches and different things. There's so many things outside of football that are controlling these young men's or infecting these young men's mindsets. You have to be able to decipher and find the balance in all of that to gain their attention. And I think the coaches who do that are the ones that are having extreme success. And that success doesn't necessarily amount to wins or national championships, but at a certain time, at a certain space, it does. And for Kalen DeBoer to come in to do it at Washington the way he did it, and then to come in at Alabama, knowing that your roster is the poaching point for the portal. It was displayed when Coach Saban first retired. It's been displayed the last 3 years that he's been there. And to continue to field teams like he has, I think the culture is in the right spot, man. You're doing something right behind them walls to have players that were feeling entitled and all that. You carried them for 2 seasons, right? And then now you're setting yourself up. Your team is right there in the middle of this national championship conversation. I think he's doing the right stuff.
Right. And Coach, and also one last point, I'm not going to tie your line up.
No, you good. You good. We got time today. You got about 3 more minutes, brother.
When I heard the interview of Deontay Lawson talking about Coach Kalen DeBoer, and he says, Coach DeBoer's going to be okay, man. He played at a private school, so he talked, he had a proper accent.
Yeah. Man, don't be doing my boy Deontay like that.
I've never heard a tough linebacker with a proper accent. But anyway, Coach DeBoer's going to be okay, man. He's really nice. Nice. Bill Clark wasn't nice at Prattville High School. Bill Clark wasn't nice to me. He wasn't nice to us. And that's just one to name a few. Rush Probst in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game was not nice. How can you come? I don't know if you can coach football being nice.
Hey.
If the head coach is nice, at least you got to have some alligators as the position coaches.
Hey, that's why you got Kane Womack. That's why you got Kane Womack. That's why you bring in Coach Clem, the offensive line coach. Coach Owens, the tight end coach. Coach Roach.
Yes.
You got coaches on that staff that going to get in your tail, man, that bring that intensity. I even think Coach Nix brings a different edge like Coach Shep. I think that's why I was so happy about him coming in. I love Nick's energy, and he don't, man, you know what I love about Nick? Same thing Coach Shep did. Coach Shep did not hesitate to dig into Ryan Williams because he knows the persona that's surrounding your man. He knows that comes with that type of energy. And You're not doing the player any justice if you're letting him feel like he's above developing, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't think Coach DeBoer allows that, because if that was the case, Jaheim Otis would have stayed at Alabama. You get what I'm saying? James Smith, Quay Russaw, guys, and I'm saying names because these are guys that were expected to produce, and then they leave because they're not made a priority after not producing. You've been given your opportunity to produce. We're looking for the next thing that's going to produce for us at the rate that they committing to. And when you have that, you don't have to be mean to do that. Hey, I'm cool enough with you to take you at your word and ride it out with you, and into the point of you failing, not me. You're failing you. I'm giving you the opportunities. So when you got that type of coach, and that's what you got to do. We're different. We don't have the same dynamics we had with Coach Saban, man. I guarantee you, if Kalen DeBoer, and people talk about DeBoer at the NAI level, how he ran his stuff like a real tight ship. It's always been player led, but structure, organization, discipline has always been a focal point. You talked about it. I think either you or Brian talked about it a few weeks ago. This is the least penalized team that we had at Alabama in the past 7 years. Kalen DeBoer's only been there going on his third season. Last year's team was the least penalized team that we've had at Alabama in 7 years. Something right is happening. They need to play more music if they gonna get less offsides penalties and less pass interference.
But Coach, I want to see a least penalized team so nasty and mean that we still, I'm still blocking 3 or 4 yards downfield. You know what I'm saying? To where I'm not doing anything that, to hurt my team or put my team in jeopardy. And that's what Drake Kirkpatrick was. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He was,
yeah. But think about this, Shep. Think about this. Think about the players that did mess us up in those moments. The very thing that you're saying, like blocking downfield, finishing plays, all of this stuff, right? James Smith led the team in post-play penalties last season, right? Quay Russaw, big moment, third down. Late illegal hit on the quarterback. Ball already gone. All these players that Book and Formby, offensive line, holding. These are Saban guys, man. These are Saban guys that were hurting us.
But that's what you want. That's what you want. James Smith, if I'm in Tuscaloosa, he's not allowed to leave. That's what you want. You just gotta match their psychological intensity, to basically compartmentalize it to where it's done legally and not illegal. You want that on your team. You want your dogs, Coach. You got to have your dog. Listen, we had one at practice by the name of Ted Reeves. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let y'all ride. He wore his girlfriend's ring on his pointing finger. He never strapped up his cleats, and his legs and stuff was ashy. He looked like the only thing you could see through his face mask was his yellow teeth. He stayed in Cosby Court in Prattville. That's how I got good, because I had to block him. We had no other running back that could block Ted Reeves. He was 215. But at the same time, that whole 2001 class was loaded. You had LaMarcus Rowell over at Opelika.
Mm-hmm.
You had Melvin Oliver over at Opelika. You had Freddie Roach down there at Florence. So, Coach, what I'm saying is, as a running back, I had to match a blitzing linebacker that's hitting. He's going to hit his gap. Listen, Cadillac Williams was not a good blocker. I'll tell him to his face. The reason why him and Keldrick Williams busted some of them runs down there in Mobile was because of me. I was 215 pounds. I had the blocking ability to meet a Freddie Roach in the hole, to meet a Marcus Rowell in the hole. Because you had to, because those guys were smart. They was calling the play out before the play. Listen, if a running back lined up in the backfield, and if he had any slight lean or eye contact, them guys knew where that ball was coming. But those guys were very smart, and they was going to fulfill their gap. And I was the only one that had the audacity to block that. You want that on your team. I don't know if you can coach that, but somebody got to say, hey, man, this is where you need to be. If not, I understand. But we want you here. Now, I can't pay you to be here because you may want $3 million a year. That's where the NIL come in, right? Ohio State may come in and say, we'll give you 2.8. Alabama say, we can't move. I'm going to Ohio State, But at the same time, You want it, but you want to be able to coach it.
You know what
Now,
though? You know what though, bro? When it comes to that, when that's like the very thing that you're asking, if Kalen DeBoer was to budge because it's a in-state kid that was a top prospect, but this in-state kid has played 3 seasons and has yet to touch a mark. I mean, flash once every 4 games is cool, but you now want to be the primary guy. You want to take 60% of the snap, and you want to take a majority of the percentage of the NIL that we have for your position group. And for what? When we got other guys that stepped on the scene that last year next to you and outperformed you with less reps. Why would we budge? And because of your pride, because no, that's not dedication. To me, if it was really in the players, they don't go and try to make the university move. If you've been a Bama boy your whole life, you should feel some type of way that the fan base can even pull up your stats, and anybody else on that roster in your position is outdoing you at any metric or any dynamic. That should be your own motivation if you really a Bama boy. It shouldn't be the NIL. You should just like Yanzi. He was the third or the fourth lowest paid in that room last season, right? NIL wise, what he came out and did. Soon as he got the opportunity, Yanzi didn't look back. We missed Yanzi when he couldn't play that what that was, week 9, week 10. Mm-hmm. Quay's first week back. Oh, we just knew Quay wasn't gonna miss a beat. Man, why they busting on the edge this week? Oh, Yanzi not playing. Mm-hmm. Oh, but when Justin Hill get in and Noah Carter get in, they making plays. What's up with Quay? He ain't been the same since last year towards the end of the season. Like, those are when I see those type of moves happen, that's when I look back and I pause I take my fan glasses off, right? I take off my Bama goggles and I look at the whole spectrum and I say, there's a change happening in college football. I can't expect us to win or recruit the same way and win a new way. We got to get out and get these guys that's dedicated to the developmental process and that could buy into what Coach DeBoer is doing. And if that's a little bit different, I had a comment coming here, but we've also had former players like Clinton Diggs. He's there now. He talks about how it has a Saban feel there. It's just without the militant approach. A lot of accountability is across this room. We haven't had a lot of incidents in this locker room since Coach DeBoer has arrived. We haven't. I think the coach is in good shape. Final thoughts, Shep, as we get ready to open this phone line back up.
Final thoughts, Coach. I'm going to touch on something that you said earlier because I was listening to it, and I told you this on the last one of your last lives about a week or two ago. You said the quarterback for Alabama is going to have to end up, quote, and I quote, being a type of playmaker. Is that correct?
Yep.
And I told you on your show, I said, Coach, I said the starting quarterback is going to have to do what DeBoer can't do, which is basically the same thing. In other words, he's going to have to make plays and do all of this outside of what DeBoer and that Bama coaching staff really didn't put in for him to do. That's number one. So we're on the same page with that. Number two, I'm going to say this, I'm going to let it go. Coach, I ain't no dummy. I seem to think Alabama could just about run the table this year. I ain't going to lie to you. If Freddie Roach, if we get some push on that D-line, because we got some end guys. We need some interior push. And guess what? Because I love to fight, I'm going to swing again, Coach Smook. And because of the infamous 3-4 defense that we had installed in Tuscaloosa, and we still got pushed with with 3 down linemen and with a walked up end, but it was still a 3-4. Right now, I think we in like a 4-2. If Kane Womack can dominate the front 4, Coach Smook, Alabama could run the darn table. I don't care about Georgia. I don't care about Tennessee. I don't care about Brett Venables over in Oklahoma. The dude can coach. We know he knows his stuff. But we gonna have to get it on the defense. I need them dogs on defense to bite their mouthpiece. Listen, I don't care. Do what you gotta do. We got to get the quarterback. We gotta put the ball in Daniel Hill's hand, and we got to move the darn train. Now, I'll see you later. Thank you, Coach. Bless you, man.
All right, Shep. Roll Tide, man. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Shep, y'all. He out of control. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. He ain't got no home training, y'all. He worse than them Georgia fans that during the season sometimes. He don't know when. Let's see. Get to the comments real quick. Ty would have done it last year had they had an O-line. I don't think so. I think the O-line played very well. We're gonna do a day. I gotta do it. I keep getting busy. We're gonna do a day where we go back and watch film. All y'all people that's trying to make excuses for Ty, I'm tired of it. Stop it. Another call on the line. Let's get it.
Call from
Too many games for Smook.
Yo, Melvin, what's up, man? You in the game with Coach Smook. Talk to me, man. Y'all give it up for my guy Melvin in the chat, y'all.
Hey, what's up, man? Long time no see, man. I've been moved, man. I had to move, man. That's like you hear from me for a while. I've been moving, man.
My boy Melvin said he been moving. You got look, Melvin, you done moved into that mansion, dog. What's up?
Yeah, man. I've been missing out on everything you've been talking about this month, man. Just been moving. I moved to Center Point now, man. Deep down in Center Point now, man.
Yeah, that what's up, man. Look, congratulations on the move, the elevating in life, all the good stuff, man. Topic of conversation though today is Alabama culture in trouble under Kalen DeBoer.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're in trouble because everywhere the boy goes, he's been on the winning side and everything. It's not another this thing, so we're not gonna get that anymore. We're not gonna see that type of effort ever again. You know what I'm saying? As long as capable do a good job there, as long as he's doing his thing and everything, showing his close way, I don't think he's in trouble, man.
And see. What I say about this, is I don't think, and I don't think fans really have looked at the full spectrum of what we're up against after kickoff, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think. See, Kalen DeBoer don't just deal with developing players at Alabama, right? You have to put that. We have to put that extra asterisk or that extra description of his situation. Kalen DeBoer is coaching at Alabama. He's developing players at Alabama. He's playing the seventh toughest schedule. The stretch of games that he's played at Alabama is the third toughest collective schedule in the past 2 years, right? So, and coming out of that, only losing how many games in the last 2 years? 6 games? 7 games.
Yeah,
7 games
man.
In the last 2 years against
2 years.
And the loss is not coming against ranked opponents. We losing games where we shouldn't be losing. You know, on paper we shouldn't be losing, but these are games that are different. These are culture changes happening. Why would anybody feel like that we're not in position? Just came out of this recruiting class, this 2026 class. It's the third ranked recruiting class, I believe.
Yeah.
Coach Saban won national championships with number 3 ranked recruiting classes. So where are we falling off at for the fan base to believe that? That's my question to the fans that believe that. But then Melvin, you say we're not in trouble. What gives you more confidence that we on the right side of things? What things are happening that make you believe that we on the right side of things?
See, the right side, like he out there recruiting new fresh people, freshmen and stuff, like new people coming in, getting the revival and stuff, like the skills environment. We getting up there for Smooth, man. He trying to get what we need to be it, man, so we can be better, be able, be better we was like 2 years ago. We gonna be better than that, man. So like I said, I don't think the coach is trouble like that unless he keep losing every year like that. That's when I say he'll be in the hot seat then.
Facts.
Like
and listen, this is a comment in the chat. You know I like to get your replies to comments. And somebody, my boy Calvin in the chat, he said, "Man, Bama is Bama. He's good for at least 2 more years because there's nobody better that we get." And he's tested, right? He meant to say, and he's tested. And then he said, and he had to restart. So I don't have no reason to cry. But you're a real fan and you're looking at things. They ain't nobody else out there. They just don't come in behind Mr. Nick and doing any better. I agree 100%. You don't go. You don't. And then for people to be like Lane Kiffin or Jeremy Pruitt. Well, I've seen Pruitt as a head coach. I've seen Kiffin as a head coach. Neither one of them are doing anything that Kalen DeBoer has done at this level. We're talking about Kiffin's using the portal and everything to his advantage, and he's still not outdoing Kalen DeBoer.
Now, let me ask you something, Coach Smook. Do you think the coach in trouble? Or do you think he do it to win a championship or something like that? Do you think that, man?
I think right now you're talking about with Coach DeBoer, right? Yeah. If I'm being real, I think Coach DeBoer, realistically, I give him this year and next year to be in a national championship game. Like if I'm putting pressure on him, like if I'm finally as an AD or whatever, year 5, if we haven't made we're not a play away from the national championship, if we're not back in position where we was 2023, 2022, right? 2023, when Coach Saban lost to Michigan, right? At the end of 23. If we're not back in that game, semifinal by next year, I think we have reason to start saying, okay, hot seat. Not get rid of them, but what is it that's holding you up? Because you've had the recruiting classes now. Because year 5, your first recruiting class will be able to be either your fourth year junior or your 5th year senior.
Okay.
So that'll be his first recruiting class as a matter of fact, his first full recruiting class was the 25 class, not even the 24 class with Williams. We had the 25 class with him. That's his first recruiting class with Latsier Brooks and those guys. Yeah. So now when Ryan is eligible for 5th year and this Latsier and those guys are they're in their senior year, that's the year you're supposed to be like, we'll know what your product is. Because you've developed a full class by then. You got 2 or 3 classes under your belt. That's when I think, and if he's not made an appearance or made a push, and I'm talking about SEC championship, 2nd, 3rd round of playoff action, I think that's when you could finally put Coach DeBoer on the hot seat. I want to pose that question to the chat too. When can Coach DeBoer fairly be put on the hot seat for not being in the national championship game or playing for a national championship? When can he be in the hot seat? What year? I don't think it's year 3. I think year 3 we should see a change from what he came in with and what was given. I think year 3 we should see some type of, if it's either going to be a major drop off or a major improvement in year 3.
That's why I say like this year gonna be a change. This year gonna be different. This year is gonna be real different. We're gonna look good. We're gonna play good. Everything. We can't take these other teams for granted just because they're not ranked and stuff like that. We can't take that for granted, man. Because anybody can be beat by anybody, man.
Facts. Especially now in college football. Like, I don't think you have to even be a good head coach anymore. I think because of the amount of money that's being thrown around to one NIL and all of that stuff, but the amount of money that's being thrown around for staffs now, right? You can be a trash head coach, but be a great offensive coordinator in Lane Kiffin, right? And I'm not saying he's a trash head coach. I think he's a great offensive play caller, but the head coaching title is he doesn't operate that. He's not a great game manager when it comes to decision making as a head coach. So I look at it and I say, you can be a not so good head coach, and with the way that they build staffs, you get all these assistants coming from the NFL coming to be your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator. You fill your staff with the right guys. You put yourself in position to kind of be in control of where you move to. Kalen DeBoer, he didn't have to do that. He's literally, his staff is a staff that fits his mindset or his philosophy, and I think when you have that, you have the right makeup, the foundation to really have a successful culture at your school. So I think we're in a good spot, Melvin. Final thoughts as we get ready to get off this phone line, man.
So I'm gonna ask you one more thing before we go.
Okay.
Why do you think everybody want Coach to be the name saying?
I mean, Melvin, that was the best years of being a Bama fan, and I'm blessed enough to be a '90s kid. I was born in 1990, so 90 to 96 was a good span as a Bama fan from what I remember. Most of my memories from the 96 season. 99 was a different type of year. 01 was an exciting year, right? We thought we were onto something in 01. Then we went through that stretch all the way up until from 01 to 06. 06, 07. No, 07. 07, as a matter of fact, was a pretty bad year. It's Saban's first year. But when Saban did what he did between 08 and 2011, that to me changed the whole landscape of what being a Bama fan was, right? I remember being in college and then going into the military in 2010 and going active duty. I remember seeing the amount of Bama fandom spread because apparel was available in different ways. We didn't see Bama fans that claim to have like, man, I got this t-shirt from that. That's because you lived in the state of Alabama, right? There was no UPS and Amazon and stuff in the early 90s. So yes, you should. If you've never traveled, you've never been aware in your life, you've just been in the state of Alabama your whole life, you should have plenty of hats and jerseys. See, me being a military brat, my parents being from Montgomery, Alabama, we weren't in Alabama in my early years. You know, we would come visit for weeks but we watched, my dad still got VHS tapes from 1994 to 1995 when our family was sending us recorded games of Alabama and Auburn, Alabama and Western Kentucky, and Alabama was Mississippi Southern. We used to play Mississippi Southern regularly. You know, that was a team I remember us playing in the early 90s and the early 2000s. So like when we talk about why everybody wants Kalen DeBoer to be the next Saban, God, think about it. 17 years, man. We won 6 national championships under this guy. 17 years. And in those 17 years, we played in 12 of those 17 11 or 12 of those national championship games. So people have kind of been looking at us on how to be football fans for the past 15 years. That's why I could empathize with the fan base who continue to be stuck in the Coach Saban era.
Okay. Yep. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. That time and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I remember all them years, man. We had a solid, we've always had, and every time it felt like, especially during the pre-Saban era, every time it felt like we would have a 2 or 3 year span, especially like 99 to 2001, I thought we was going to have like a solid. And that's when I first started understanding football and then like divisions and all of that, right? Records, win-loss, how the schedules were being shaped up. I started comprehending a little bit better. So when we went on a drop between 02 and 05, I was like, whoa, man, ain't no way. Like, but then 06, we go 10 and 2. I'm like, okay, this is what we need.
Okay.
And then 07, Coach Saban comes in, changing the culture. 08, people, and that's why I say the first year under Saban, when he went 6 and 7, there was no reason for him to go to 6 and 7. We went 10 and 2 the year before.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like if it was just that easy for everybody that talks about Kalen DeBoer coming in and not holding the standard, but Coach Saban, he came in the first year and lost more games than we lost the previous year. I know they got taken away in the with the NCAA ruling, but on the field, come on, man. So. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot, Melvin. I think we're in this good spot. I think it's going to continue to help us grow. Kalen DeBoer, he will be playing in the national championship game. If he handle business this year, like I said, I think we truly can run the table. We at home against Georgia. We at home against Florida State. We got to go to Death Valley. That's probably the only one that I ain't worried about. Like if we was to drop one, it would be at Death Valley or at Tennessee, just because of the crowd and the timing of it, that stretch, that gauntlet stretch. But other than that, man, we in a good spot. Melvin. Final thoughts, man. Let's get off this phone line, brother.
Yeah, man. I'd like to shout out to the chat to everybody there. Everybody roll tide. Had a nice good day. Everybody had a blessed day. So, hey, roll tide, everybody. Nice
yes, sir.
Y'all.
Hey, Melvin, before you get out of here, can I get you to say it one time without the music? Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Catch up with you, man. Roll tide, man. Y'all give it up for my boy Melvin, man. I had to get him to say that because we didn't get a clip of it yet. So what's this time stamp? 1 minute and 38. Remember that for me. Hour and 38, Amanda. We need to come and clip that so I can put that in the new intro. Y'all, when you call in, I need y'all to start saying, put me in the game, Coach Smook. We got an intro we working on. I want to feature it on A-Day, the stream for A-Day morning. We want to feature our new intros with our new sponsors, shout outs, all of our infomercials with the new cut, all of that good stuff. We want to try to feature all that on A-Day. So y'all continue to like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the callers on the call-in line today. My boy Zach, we had Shep, And who else we had? Melvin was the third one. Then we have another one. I feel like we had somebody else, a new caller call in today. I feel like we had a new caller call in. Oh, we missed the phone call. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And supporting the Coach Smook Network. We're going to do our final thought and our announcements, and then we're going to get out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. But before we get out of here, man, make sure y'all take an opportunity and support the Coach Smook Network and become a member, all that good stuff. Shout out to our sponsors, everybody supporting. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Check this out. All right, family. That's going to do it for today's show here on the Coach Smook Network. Once again, I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality. And I truly appreciate every one of you for rocking with us today. Before you head out, make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who needs to be a part of this conversation. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you stay locked in with everything we've got coming your way. We're trying to reach some goals here. And if you believe in what we're building here, I encourage you to take that next step and become a member of the AAA family. Remember, our mantra is authenticity above all. This community is built on real conversations and real insight and real information surrounding sports entertainment. Your membership directly supports the growth of the Coach Smook Network, and every hard-earned dollar contributed is not only appreciated, it's paid for through our monthly contributions to community health and awareness organizations. So you're not just supporting a YouTube channel, you're supporting a cause. Also, don't forget to check out the Coach Smook merch. We've got hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. It's a great way to show love and support for the network and rep the brand wherever you go. You can find the merch link in our main YouTube page and in the description. Put me in the game, coach. And if you want to stay connected and get more involved with the community, be sure to join the Discord. Just type the command in the live chat or head over to our main YouTube page and click the Linktree link in the description. You can also stay connected with us directly for collaborations, appearances, community service opportunities, and business inquiries by emailing us at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com. Our staff will respond in a timely manner. And for those who want to show additional love, you can always donate directly to the Coach Smook Network through Venmo, PayPal, or a Cash App. Every bit of support helps us continue to grow and elevate this platform. We also want to send a huge thank you to our sponsors and partners: Walk On Sports Bistro, Sports Info Solutions, Helping Hands LLC, Men of Standard Executive Security, Goomba Bully Killnos, and most of all, the AAA Phantom. None of this is possible without you. Once again, thank you for all your support, the energy, and the authenticity you bring to the space. Until next time, family, stay safe, stay locked in, and when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Catch you on the next one. When you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
At Walk-On's Sports Bistro, the games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk-On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites, Walk-On's is your go-to for good times, craft beer and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages. From melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online or in the app. Walk-On's Sports Bistro. Game on.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in as always, man. And y'all gotta stay tapped in for real, right? Stay tapped in because we doing some quality stuff here on the Coach Smook Network. Like I said, quick announcement, final thoughts. Well, let me do final thoughts and then I'll do a quick announcement. Final thoughts, man. Tomorrow's scrimmage, tomorrow's practice. I will be trying to make my way up to no, not tomorrow. We're going up there Thursday. We'll be up there Thursday practice. And I'm going to post my depth chart. I might do it tomorrow. Yeah, I might do it tomorrow. I'm gonna post my depth chart tomorrow because, and just speaking with a lot of the players post scrimmage and everything, I think I got a good idea. And there's no way that they know the depth chart, but I got a good idea because of, and I was with me and such, you did this on this play, whatever. All of those conversations, we're going to build our depth chart and we're going to put that out there. Tomorrow we'll have practice coverage. We'll go live in the morning kind of get you prepared for what to expect from practice. We'll do our post-practice report, members only. So if you're not a member of the AAA family, you're going to miss out. This is the stage and phase where we get some real good insight and we get some of that plus juicy stuff information. You know what I'm saying? Plus juicy stuff, all the stuff that you want to know, conversations, small things that's happening, stats, performance, reactions, all of that stuff. We get that with the Smook Scoop. So we'll have that tomorrow. We also have a call-in show tonight. So tap in. We got another topic of conversation we'll be presenting tonight. So check the content. Make sure you're following on all platforms. Make sure you subscribe on this YouTube channel, 5K by April 11th. And we're on our way. As you all continue to grow, help us grow, like, share, and make sure you comment. Let me know where you're watching from, where you're supporting from, and continue to help us grow. I'm your very, very, very humble host and just grateful to be here, Coach Smook. And this is the Coach Smook Network. Shout out to all of my AAA family. We appreciate each and every one of you. My staff, my team, we appreciate you for doing what you do. Every single part of this network that continues to grow. This has been another Coach Smook Live, another segment of Chatting with Coach Smook, and I am out of here. Y'all be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget, man, pray for someone, love on somebody. Keep your friends close, man. Keep your family close, and make sure that you're doing the right things to continue to build yourself up and go forward in life. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say it. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be blessed, man.
Bama in the microphone. Look me up on YouTube. True cut, straight from the stone. Ain't no selling their retails. I'm exposing what they want. Alabama football, yeah, I live it, yeah, I beat it from the streets to the bleachers, every angle, yeah, I see your film, study so militant. I ain't guessing a thing. Break it down, every snap is like a coach of the team. Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you'll fail with the fan. They tried to box me in, and I keep the dough off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, that's what they saying.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. And boys over there, look at Deontay live.
Hey, y'all, I'm walking out of Walmart. Check, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast.
What's up, bro?
Reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Roll Tide, man.